So after Pac-12 championships, which is kind of the team's mindset right now going into the postseason?
Well, for us, it's always been about preparing for our next tournament, and the experience that we pick up from each tournament leading up to the postseason is stuff we talk about, we learn from, get ready, and kind of repurpose for the next week. So, obviously we had an opportunity to perform at Pac-12s, and it's not something we're talking too much about as a team anymore because, quite frankly, the tournament we're going to next has no bearing. That outcome has no bearing on what's happening next week. And the two conditions that we're going to experience couldn't be more different. So for us, it's just part of the past, and now we're playing in the present and just getting ready for a great week next week.
Yeah, and just to go off of that, our team's been plugging along all year, and we're really excited for this next week, especially from a different environment. It's going to be really hot next week in Dallas or Houston or Bryan, wherever we're going. And just going forward, we're really excited because we've been competing all week. We have a good team going, and we're just excited to get after it again.
So with the conditions, what are you expecting out there in Texas?
It's going to be hot and humid, and a lot of guys haven't seen that because a lot of the guys from our team, or two of our guys, are from Phoenix. So definitely going to be a different factor to account for, but in the end, it's definitely a different environment to adjust to and just get ready for. It's a lot different than Seattle. We haven't seen a lot of rain in our careers, especially me, but I've seen the Dallas heat, I've seen the humidity, and I think our guys will do very well there.
So have you golfed in Texas?
So I'm actually from Dallas now. I moved there 2 years ago, so I've definitely just adjusted to that kind of heat because I'm from Sacramento originally, and it's definitely a different factor, but I love it. I love playing in the heat, and I wasn't a huge fan of that Seattle weather, but going forward, we're playing in a definitely bigger, better environment for our team as a whole.
So do you always have to kind of play up a club then?
It's just hot and it's humid, and in Seattle it was sea level. The ball wasn't going very far, so a lot of guys were adjusting to that. But for me and the rest of our team, we're used to that, so we're really excited to play in the heat again.
What prompted the move to Dallas?
My dad got a new job, and we actually got just a whole family actually shifted. My extended family moved out there too, and we've been loving it ever since. We kind of moved during that COVID stage, and it's been great for the family.
So you have a lot of representation then?
Yes, actually. So I have some extended family driving down. It's 3 hours from my home, so definitely we'll see some family out there, which will be great.
Chase, what have the ups and downs been like for this season for you?
So personally, as a team going forward, we want to obviously have a trend line of getting better over and over again. But personally for me, I want to excel a lot more. I have not done exactly what my goals have not been accomplished. I need to work harder with and for my team to get better. And I've had some accomplishments, yes, but nothing that satisfies me one bit. So I definitely want to move on and keep plugging along and have the next opportunity present itself in the best of ways.
So if you look at that outline of goals, what's on the list that have yet to be accomplished?
Obviously, I want to win a couple tournaments, and I've put myself in those positions. I've knocked on some doors, but I have not followed through on those actions, and I really am looking forward to our next opportunity to do so, and I just need to plug along, and I've learned from teammates, I've learned from my coaches and other players across the country just to get better, and I need to end strong and help my team to the best I can.
Coach, it's been a while since you were there, but what do you remember about your time at A&M?
Oh, I love my time at Texas A&M. The golf course is a Jack Nicklaus design, so it definitely challenges you off the tee and into the green, the very small greens that will benefit us to play smart golf, try to put the ball in play off the tee, try to put the ball in the middle of the green with a small green. You're not putting from 90 feet like you can be on some of the bigger desert courses. But I think the course sets up really well for our team, and we've played some of the Nicklaus courses here in town to prepare for that. So golf-wise, I'm really excited to get back. And Texas A&M was a great home for my wife and I, and we met a ton of wonderful people. I know a few good barbecue spots, some wing spots. I know a couple of other steak spots. So I think the guys will eat pretty well this week, and I'm just excited to have the opportunity to return with a great squad and a team that's hungry, literally and figuratively.
All right, so list out like the top three joints you got to go to win.
We go to a taco spot.
Yeah. Well, we can
gotta
definitely
jump
do
in one of those. What is that? No, Torchies?
Well, there's a place called Fuego.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna do Fuego for one of the days for tacos. But I was a huge fan of C&J Barbecue. They've got some ribs there that are, in my opinion, really, really good. So I would say C&J's Barbecue would be one. J. Cody's Barbecue is pretty good too. And I might try to take them up to the Northgate side and do like the Dixie Chicken or some of the famous places that the Aggies enjoy too.
Are you familiar with any of the teams in the field from either this this year or last year?
Oh yeah, we've seen all of them at different points. And the one thing that's kind of unique about golf is it doesn't really benefit us a whole lot to study our opponents, because the game we play is all about how we prepare and how we execute on the golf course. So the fact that there's this extra noise of great teams around us isn't going to change anything. The only time it might change something for us is on the back nine on Wednesday afternoon. If we're chasing or being chased, it might be beneficial for myself and James to keep our eyes on what's going on to change strategy at that point. But the game plan that we put in presumably is the best game plan to score. And if we do what we are trying to do, we have no control over what the 1 or the 2 or the 3 seeds are doing.
Is there anything that you can take from last year's postseason run and maybe apply to this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time you tee it up, there's experience gained and lessons learned. And I think, having Chase, having Christian, a part of the team that was so successful last year, being leaders on this team this year, we better understand how to prepare. And they've been great communicators of what we can do as a group. And we've got some guys making their first trips to NCAA regionals this week. But I'm also very confident that their leadership and the example and the tone that they set, given the experiences that they've had last year, will help our team be better positioned for this year.
And Chase, I was going to ask you, with guys like Trevor and Brad, do you pick up anything, being teammates with guys like those?
Oh, for sure. So those guys taught me a lot in these last couple of years of being here, and just seeing the pathway they've done post-college too has been very eye-opening for me and players like Christian, just to know what to expect out of college and what we can shoot for. And just learning from them on and off the course has been huge for me personally. So definitely going to carry into what we learned last year at Clay Alum when we went for our Washington regional last year and we missed it by a couple. But this year we have a very hungry team that's very just ready to attack.
And then Christian was all Pac-12 as well. What jump did he make this year in both of your guys' opinion?
Christian came back and he just won our team's most improved award and the MVP award. So he's absolutely done a lot of things with the results of his game. But honestly, the thing that's impressed me the most is he's got a very, very polished process, and he's a student of the game, but the student of the psychology. So he's very in tune with how he's feeling, and he's very, very good at controlling the emotion of good or controlling the emotion of bad. We, the people who are watching Christian, don't get to see that. And it's because he's got a very, very clear picture of what he's trying to do when he's playing golf. It's something he's practiced. It's not by accident. And I think that calm and that preparation is what allows him to perform at the high level that he's performed all year. And quite frankly, something I won't be surprised to see him do as a professional soon too.
Yeah, and Christian's excelled insanely, and I've looked up to him every step of the way. Something that I've really taken away from golf, like learning from players like Christian or players from my past. Golf's not a game of perfect, everyone says that, but it's also about just learning your own game. And Christian's really figured that out this year, and he's earned those MVP awards and most improved just because he's figured out how to play the game he wants to play. And like once you figure that out and learn how to adjust to situations and tournaments and just know how to post a good score, then you're going to play well. And that's something I'm definitely trying to learn from him. I've learned from Trevor, I've learned from Brad, just going forward for my game too.
A second ago, you heard Jim Chase's own assessment of his season. What do you take away from what he's been able to do this past year?
Chase has impressed me a lot this year, but always. And we just had a good chat not even that long ago, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing. I think one of the things that's challenging for any competitor, especially one of who's a consummate team player, played multiple sports, it's easy to measure success in win or loss. And golf, it's sometimes not quite that clear. And so, for Chase, he's had some tournaments, many tournaments. He's all conference this year again, and he continues knocking at the door. And just because the door hasn't opened for him to get on the winning stage yet, it isn't a failure at all. In fact, it's the other. It's continuing to position yourself for those opportunities. And like I told him, if you look at where Chase is as a sophomore in high school, and where he got to even, really trying to be recruited to be a part of our team. I can tell you there's a number of teams now that would love to have Chase Sienkiewicz on their team, and I'm so thankful he's on our team because he's continued to improve like this. And if you look at a stock chart over 6 years, he's doing this. But if you look at Chase, what he wants right now, I think he wants to go IPO right now and just hit the, So it's a good thing because he's a competitor and he's super hungry. And the things that he's learned this year and the things that he's improving on is he's learning how to be patient and play the game that he has. He has so many skill sets and so many tools in his bag, particularly with just your length, and he knows it, and he's learning how to play with those tools instead of fighting those tools when he doesn't have to fight them. He's just really learning how to play competitive golf at a very high level, and I know that the progression feels like and wants to be like this, but I think he's doing it exactly at a pace that he's going to see long-term success for a long time.
Do you have any pre-tournament rituals or routines?
Not really. Just enjoy the moment, get ready for the opportunity, and study what I can.
That it, guys?
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, everybody.